What's going on, everybody? It's Game Unboxing Reviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Dimensions news update. Now, this video is another trailer analysis, and this is the story trailer analysis. And this basically explains, how can the Doctor take Scooby-Doo to the Yellow Brick Road? And how can Batman meet Marty McFly and the Ninjago cast and things like that? How is that all possible? And this trailer really explains it, because obviously there's got to be a reason that these characters can meet each other. And that reason is because of the villain of this game named Lord Vortek. And he looks really cool. I'll definitely talk more about it in the video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, of course, we can see just another day in Gotham City. Batman and Robin are chasing after a villain at nighttime, and in this case, it is Bane. Now, obviously, Batman comes with a starter pack, but Bane is a character that will come at a later date, and he is really cool. He can also transform into his giant big figure form from LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. There's no word on if any other character can do that right now, so he's probably one of the most unique characters in the game, so I would highly recommend that, because he's just going to be so cool. And plus, I love playing as him in LEGO Batman 3 because, I don't know, Bane's just so cool. I've always liked that character, and the fact that, you can just transform at any time, I just think that's awesome. No word on if Robin will ever be playable. Obviously, he would come in a pack. This game is going to be supported for years to come, so if something isn't here now, then there's a very high chance it might come next year or the year after, or, how far they're going to keep it going. But this game's going to be supported for years to come, and there's definitely lots more to come. So, yeah, really cool. Now, obviously, this part of the trailer takes a twist. It's every day in Gotham, they're chasing after the villain, but all of a sudden this portal opens up, and Robin gets sucked inside it, and, yeah, he's gone. He gets taken somewhere, but we'll talk more about that soon. One thing I did want to mention is that in this part of the trailer, I don't know what it is, but there's lampposts and there's fire hydrants and everything, and it just looks too detailed for my liking to think that it's just a cutscene. And what I mean by that is I still think this is a hub, because there was that screenshot, I think it was outside Ace Chemicals, and that looked so much like a hub to me. It really did, and I really hope it is, because can you imagine that? You have all these characters and all these vehicles and items and everything you can use, and you have this massive playground of Gotham City to run around in. It would really make the game last years, because if you've got all these characters and you want it to last years to come with all these different franchises that haven't been announced or anything yet, you're going to want some big open hubs or something to be able to run around in. So personally, I think we might be getting a Gotham City hub, but I could be wrong. That might just be wishful thinking, because that would be amazing. Now here, of course, we can see Gandalf taking on the Balrog. Now obviously this is a scene from the Lord of the Rings, but it takes a bit of a twist, just like Batman when he was chasing Bane through the streets there. So yeah, you see Gandalf, he's flying down, he's attacking the Balrog, then all of a sudden Batman flies out of a portal, he rescues Gandalf, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But then we see that Batman and Gandalf, they're standing together, and you can see a bunch of Lord of the Rings characters, but then all of a sudden a portal opens up and Frodo gets stuck inside it, and yeah, what's interesting I found about that is he's also holding the One Ring. Now, it's interesting because, Lord Vortek, he wants to bring all these universes together and just, I don't know, just kind of make a weird mashups, I guess. So maybe he also wants all the artifacts from those worlds, something important and powerful. I think it looked just like diamonds to me in the Bane part, but what if that is kryptonite? What if he wants kryptonite and he wants the One Ring, and maybe he wants something from the Lego movie as well? It definitely makes you think, because this character, there's got to be a reason why he's opening up all these portals. He can't be doing it just because he wants to, there has to be a reason for it. So I think maybe he's wanting all these special artifacts and everything. And also, I could be wrong, it might just be ripped from the movie, but it sounds like Elijah Wood is reprising his role as Frodo in this game. I could be wrong, but it sounds like it to me, at least. Now, next up, we can see, of course, Cloud Cuckoo Land, and this is where we see Wildstyle's introduction, how she gets wound up in this whole adventure. We can see a bunch of random characters from the Lego movie. We can also see Emmett and Metalbeard, but the question is, will these characters be affected like Robin and Frodo? Will they get kidnapped or something like that by Lord Vortek? We'll just have to wait and see. Now here we get a really nice look at Lord Vortek, and I think this is one of the coolest characters I've ever seen in LEGO form. I mean, his whole design and everything is just awesome. It really is. I like that staff as well. That's pretty cool. And you see him doing so many cool things in this trailer. You see him, turn his whole body into loads of Lego, and he just becomes this giant. So it'd be cool to be able to do things like that if you got to play as him. It would be interesting to see if maybe they release him next year or something in 2016 in some sort of fun pack, because he just looks so cool, and it'd be a shame to just waste cast him as, you know, the villain of the story. But if not, then oh well. Also, another thing to mention is his voice is awesome. I can't work out who's voicing him. It could be someone famous, but I'm not really sure. But for now, it is really cool, and I can't wait to see more of this character because he's just awesome. This is just a really quick thing to mention. I've probably mentioned it previously before, but you know, since we get a really nice look at it here, why not? So yes, mini kits are back, and I think that's great because obviously, you know, yes, this is a Toys to Life video game. It's taking LEGO games in a completely new direction, if you ask me, which is really good. I like it. Obviously, you know, you've still got things like LEGO Marvel and LEGO Jurassic World, and they've said, you know, there will be more LEGO games like that. This isn't going to be the standard LEGO game now. You know, they're not all going to be Toys to Life. It's just this one, which is a very, very smart move because, you know, it appeals to everyone, which is great. But yes, mini kits are back, and I think that's really cool because it just shows you got all these characters and vehicles and things, but there's still things to find in the main game. They said you can have a blast with the starter pack itself, and apparently you can complete it 100% with the starter pack, so that's really interesting. But of course, in saying that, there's also loads of hidden items and areas and things like that to find with the different franchise characters, and you'll find things from their franchises and everything. There's going to be so much fan service in this game, and I can't wait to see it all. I mean, I'm really excited about going inside all the different TARDISes and things like that, playing with Marty and Doc, you know, playing as all the Ninjago characters. It's going to be so much fun. I really cannot wait, and thankfully we're about a month away now, really. It's not that long until this game comes out, and that is just great news. Here, of course, we can see Master Chen from LEGO Ninjago. Not entirely sure what exactly he's doing right here, but it definitely looks mischievous and evil, so yeah, it's probably not a good thing. But here's the thing about this character, you know, I just love how you have these characters and they're all coming together, but not only that, you know, if they have like an arch nemesis or a villain or an enemy or something like that, you actually get to take on that character, and I think that's great. And that alone, you know, that guarantees so much replay value. Like, you could finish the game, okay, I finished it, you go shopping one day, you see, say, Marty McFly, and you're like, I wonder how Marty McFly would do in a boss battle with Master Chen, and you can make that happen, you know, you really can, and I just think that's awesome. And of course, not only that though, we have the main story, but then we have the level packs, and that's going to add so much more to the game. And again, you can take anyone into that level pack, and that is amazing. And the thing is, if this game has hubs, honestly, I think this could be one of the biggest LEGO games yet. It just sounds massive, it really does. Here we can see Lord Vortek towering over Gandalf, Batman, and Wildstyle. And again, you know, this character is just so cool. He really is. He's so giant and everything. Also, another thing to mention, I'm pretty sure we're going to run into this character quite a few times throughout the story. So I doubt, you know, if we run into a boss battle, I doubt that'll be the last one. It seems like there's going to be quite a few boss battles with this character alone. And that's fine, you know. There definitely seems to be a lot of variety with so many characters. And they've said, you know, there's so much we haven't seen yet. They're obviously going to leave in some surprises, and I can't wait to see what surprises they have in store. And again, you know, I think Gamescom is coming up soon, so we might see something from Gamescom for LEGO Dimensions, maybe a new franchise. Personally, I would really like to see what Midway Arcade is all about, or maybe The Simpsons. I'd really like to see how The Simpsons fits in all of this, because I'm really excited about that content. I'm excited to see how they're going to take The Simpsons and kind of turn it into a LEGO game. I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Now here we can see Gandalf flying around on Marty McFly's hoverboard at the Hill Valley Festival. Now something interesting to mention about the hoverboard is it is in a different form, and the reason because of that is because each vehicle has 3 different forms. Now something I noticed recently in some gameplay is I don't think you actually have to rebuild the vehicle, and the reason I say that is because I was watching some gameplay, and basically what you do is you rebuild the vehicle or whatever you're using in reality, and then you put it back down on the pad and you go into this instructions menu which shows you how to build, you know, your model. But there's also other things you can assign. You can upgrade the vehicles. It appears like you can also change the colors and things like that, and then you can also change it to assign it to a different form. So basically, if you want the Batmobile in a different form, you just choose it once you've unlocked it. So you don't really have to rebuild it. So if you don't want to rebuild the vehicles, you can't be bothered to do that every time, it appears that you don't actually have to do that. So that's really cool. And that'll definitely come in handy, you know, because that is a really great selling point to the game. It's a really cool that you actually get to build things in reality and play the game. But sometimes people just want to get to it. So it's nice to see that you at least have that option. Here we can see Zane from LEGO Ninjago taking on a bunch of enemies, and I think it's really great to see that LEGO Ninjago is part of LEGO Dimensions, because to be honest, when I think of this game, I think that it really does appeal to anyone, you know, young or old. You can have fans of Back to the Future, you can have fans of Ghostbusters, LEGO Ninjago, you can have fans of Doctor Who, and I think the great thing about the Doctor Who content is, yes, you know, it can appeal to more recent fans of, say, you know, Peter Capaldi, or Matt Smith, or David Tennant, or Christopher Eccleston, or something like that, but then you can go even far back. You could go to Tom Baker, William Hartnell. There's just so many things you can do, and not just with the Doctor Who content. There's going to be, you know, Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters, Marty McFly from Back to the Future. This game really does appeal to everyone, young or old, and I just think that's really cool. And what's great about it is it already has so much planned for year one. You know, it's already going to have so much content. Imagine what this game's going to be like in 2 years' time. Imagine what franchises we might see. This game is going to be huge, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for it. Now here we can see probably the funniest part of this entire trailer. We can see Batman from the LEGO Batman video game franchise going up against Batman from the LEGO movie, and I just think this is awesome. And the reason I think this is because, yes, Batman is back, which is awesome, and it's Troy Baker who does a great job voicing Batman. He is so cool. And you know, the fact is, he's voiced Batman and Joker in other games. Not many people can say that, so yeah, Troy Baker is awesome. But on the left, we can see Batman from the LEGO movie, and it is Will Arnett. Will Arnett is back voicing this character, and I just think that's so cool, because he was probably one of the funniest parts of that entire movie for me. He was just such a good Batman. I loved it. And it's great to see so much voice talent in this game. You know, you got Peter Capaldi coming back as the Doctor. You've got Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown. Are we going to see Bill Murray as Peter Venkman? I mean, I have no idea. This game has so much voice talent, and I can't wait to see what surprises they have in store for us, because I bet there's more celebrities we just don't know about yet. But, you know, we will just have to wait and see. Now this part of the trailer is a throwback to what I was talking about earlier. So obviously on the left we can see Metalbeard. Now here's an interesting thing. Where is Emmett? Now my theory on this is that Emmett doesn't get captured because he is in the fun pack. He'll be a character you can play as immediately if you put him down on the toy pad. So I guess it wouldn't make sense to be going after Emmett while you're playing as Emmett. But maybe, you know, maybe he is getting captured as well. I mean, I'm not really sure. Because, you know, I think that characters like Robin and things, I think they will be available eventually. You know, I don't see why you couldn't have Batman and Robin. So, you know, we'll have to see. And then, of course, yes, on the right, we can see Robin again, who was captured when Batman and Robin were chasing after Bane in Gotham City. But then, you know, the portal opened up and, you know, everything went wrong. And then, of course, we can see at the bottom, we can see Two-Face, which we've seen several times in the trailers, but he's restraining Gandalf. We can see Saruman from the Lord of the Rings. I'm not sure who he's holding. I think it might be Dorothy, because that looks like Toto, you know, at the top. It looks like some sort of dog or something, I'm not entirely sure. And then we can also see the Riddler restraining Batman. So it seems like Lord Vortek is taking all the enemies from these different franchises, from these different universes, I should say, and basically making them kind of like his lieutenants. You know, he's saying, you know, you work for me now, basically. And that's really cool, because this character, I wouldn't like to mess with him, to be honest. He can open up all these dimensions and put them all together. So yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now here we can see Laval from Lego Chima, and I think this is actually our first in-game look at him in combat. Also his combat, when you watch it in the trailer, it looks so cool. The way he's swinging his sword around and everything looks really nice, and the detail and everything in all these characters. What I love is, you know, these characters, they're not in the same universe. You know, Lego Chima doesn't exist in the same universe as where we can see here, which looks to be the Lord of the Rings. But even though it doesn't work like that, it still suits the art style. You know, Lego, it's all about putting things together. If you want to put this head on this body, you can do that. And it seems like that's kind of what they're doing in this game, is if you want to put this character in this world, you can do that. And when you do it, it doesn't feel weird. It makes sense. You know, it makes sense that that character is fighting there, it's part of the story and things, and it just looks cool. I mean, one of my favorite combinations that I saw since launch is bringing the Lego Ninjago characters into this Lego Lord of the Rings world and just being able to fight those enemies. I just think that's really cool. I think that's a really nice combination, and kind of like a more gritty take on Lego Ninjago, if you know what I mean. So I think that's really cool, and obviously that is one combination. There's so much more you could think of with this game. It's unreal. Now here we can see Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Now one thing I noticed, by watching all the trailers and watching this most recent trailer, is it seems like Marty's combat relies heavily on his guitar. I don't think he actually picks it up and hits the enemies with it, but from what I've seen, well, the only ability I've really seen is he plays the guitar and it pushes an enemy back, and sometimes it destroys them and things. So it seems like you'll basically be using your guitar all the time when you're actually attacking an enemy, which is cool, and it's kind of part of the character. Obviously, there might be more things he can do, but I'm just glad to see Marty and Doc in a video game, in a Lego video game. I mean, that alone is just amazing. Now here of course we can see Gandalf in a Lego Ninjago area, but this time he's actually taking on a bunch of Lex bots, which is of course from DC Comics. So that makes me think, is Lex Luthor involved in this as well? Personally, I think he might be, because if you think about it, we are actually going to visit Metropolis in the main story, plus Superman is in a fun pack, so it makes sense to have that character and his arch enemy. I also wonder if we're going to meet the Joker as well, because the Joker comes in a team pack with Harley Quinn, but does that mean we're also going to meet him in the story? I think there's going to be loads of characters in this story we don't know about. I mean, the story alone sounds huge, and I can't wait to get into it, because it's just going to be so awesome. Alright, so last but not least here of course we can see Lord Vortek taking yet again a giant form in the western version of Hill Valley, but I think the best part of this part of the trailer in particular is just seeing Doc Brown trying to climb up. I mean, I just think that's really cool. A part of the Lego humor, because this big thing is happening, but they still managed to add in just a little bit of humor, and it works so well. They're really good at what they do. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, I think this was an awesome trailer. It didn't really show anything new in my opinion. It kind of just focused more on the story, which makes sense. It is a story trailer, so I'm not complaining in the slightest. I mean, I think this is a great trailer, and it just explains, why is Batman, Wildstar, and Gandalf teaming up to take on this enemy. And honestly, I think it explained it really well, and in the full game, it'll be even better. So yeah, this game is looking incredible. It really is. I just can't wait to play it. The only thing I want to know about is the hubs, because we know there's going to be some. There's going to be a few at least. So what are they? And how big are they? And what have they gone inside them? And things like that. I want to know because, yes, the levels and things are great. They really are. They look so well designed. It's so cool to be able to go to these locations. But if this game is going to last several years, you at least want a hub world. You at least want this big open playground to be able to run around in. I think that's what Lego Marvel's Avengers is doing so well right now. You've got so many ways to get around the city. You've got these random crimes that never end and things. So I'm really hoping Lego Dimensions kind of has its own spin on that. I don't think it'll have random crimes, but I do hope it keeps you busy in the hub worlds, because that would be really great. Alright guys, so I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.